Hello everyone, welcome again in another to buy or not to buy. Today we're gonna talk about this popular British heavy premium tier 8 tank, Caernarvon Action X. Everyone knows this tank because it's a quite famous machine. In the past we have this tank for first I was in the crates, then it was for about 15,000 of gold last time, and today we have this tank for 10,000 of gold. There is no extra bonuses, it's just a tank plus garage slots for 10,000 of gold. If you look at the tank, it looks like original Caernarvon, and it's pretty much is because basically it's like original Caernarvon with slightly boosted British Caernarvon from the British tech tree. As you can see, we have additional covers, frontal covers for like space armor on the turret, and a slightly different model of armor on this vehicle. But let's talk about the statistics. First we should talk about the gun. We have a typical British 20-pounder here with penetration 226 millimeters on regular shells, 258 on premium shells, and 42 millimeters on high explosives. It's worth to mention that we have APCR here, not hash. It's APCR as a premium. Alpha damage on this gun is also quite typical for British guns. We have 190 points of alpha on regular shells, 160 alpha on premium, and 250 on high explosives. Gun depression 10 degrees gives us nice opportunity to fight on rocky and mountain terrain. Aiming time 3.2, which means the gun is focusing quite fast. Dispersion 0.307 is also quite accurate, but the real magic is here. Look, reload time 4.79, which could be reduced by the proper equipment to about 4.4. So it's a really quick shooting gun, and DPM 2378 is a monster. Seriously, is one of the top DPM tanks, heavy tanks on tier 8. Another thing is speed. The tank has 64.96, almost 65 tons of weight, with engine power 950 horsepower. That gives us power to weight ratio 14.6, which is for heavy tank is very good. And as you can see, we have 36 km per hour maximum speed forward and 12 km backwards. Hull traverse speed 31.29 degrees, which is also it's not fantastic. It's quite slow, but this is a heavy tank. Don't forget, it's a heavy tank. So, next thing we're supposed to talk is the armor. So, this is armor profile of Caernarvon Action X. And just to compare, this is a normal, regular Caernarvon from regular tech tree. And let's have a look on the parameters to compare those two tanks. In Action X, let's start with the hull. Lower part is, the lower plate has 132 millimeters of armor. And the upper part, all over the place, there's no any weak spots here. We have 255 millimeters of armor. When in real Caernarvon, we have 260 and 120, which means about 20-25 millimeters more armor on Action X already on the lower part of a tank, on the hull. On the turret, as you can see, we have a solid armor here of 263, 265, 260, 255 millimeters. All that red part is about minimum 250 millimeters to up to 260 millimeters. When in real normal Caernarvon, that was middle of the turret was covered by the space armor, but all around there was only 231 millimeters of armor. Here is only 171 just by the turret by the gun mounted on this side. So as you can see, the armor is much weaker, 161 millimeters, and of course the weak spot on the commander's hatch 55 millimeters. In Action X, as we said, we have 250, 260, up to 270 sometimes millimeters here. Upper part 297, even stronger than that. Plus both sides of the turret, as we saw on the model, we have a spaced armor which gives us 382 millimeters of armor. So turret here is really solid. Of course we have weak spots on the top. As commander's hatch we have only 132 millimeters, and here on top is 37. So if you manage to shoot here with high explosive shell, you're gonna cause a lot of damage. But as we said, there's 10 degrees of gun depression. So if you manage to hide to use that gun depression and show the turret, is supposed to be the turret. The hatch shouldn't be very visible. Okay, on the side armor, as you can see, let's have a look on both models. They looks very similar. Like in here we have 91 millimeters all over, plus some differences. There's 135, 90 millimeters, and here 320 because is a sloped here. We have 90 millimeters of armor when a regular Caernarvon has only 51. So as you can see, armor is much more solid. On the turret we have 156 and 99 millimeters here on the back. When on regular Caernarvon, there was 113 all over the place. Of course, we have spaced armor here in the front, up to almost up to half of the turret, which gives us about 155 millimeters plus 40 millimeters of space armor. That's quite nice protection. On the back, nothing special as usual. We have 40 millimeters, only 40 millimeters of armor on the back, plus on the turret 95 and 97 millimeters. So as you can see, the armor of this tank is much stronger than regular Caernarvon, and it's really solid, especially turret, which is probably the strongest part of this vehicle, plus the fantastic gun that gives us a huge advantage on the battlefield. In here I decided to compare. In the first row we have Caernarvon Action X, the second one is Caernarvon, and the third one I decided to add Object 252U, which is mostly taken as a best heavy tank on tier 8 among the premiums. So let's have a look. Insane DPM 2707, when even normal Caernarvon has only 2554, is about 200 points more than regular Caernarvon, so it's a solid boost, and 1930 in Object 252U. Plus penetration 226. So all the tanks, they have similar penetration. Alpha damage 190 millimeters on both Caernarvons. Of course, we don't look on Object because Object has a massive gun and it's completely different parameters. Rate of fire. Let's focus on both Caernarvons. As you can see, everything is so close that they're actually very similar, except that a huge difference in the armor and few modifications, because rate of fire on Caernarvon Action X is slightly boosted, reload is slightly boosted, and of course the credit coefficient is 170%, plus camo is slightly weaker on Action X, plus engine is slightly stronger on Action X than on regular Caernarvon, because we have 1045 horsepower on Action X and 890 on regular Caernarvon. That gives us 2 kilometers per hour more than the regular tank. So as you can see, they are very similar. Plus the Caernarvon Action X has a boosted armor, seriously boosted armor. So if you like British line and if you like Caernarvon, this Action X gonna be even better for you. That's gonna be fantastic tank to buy for you. Of course, the price, the 10,000 is quite a lot for tier 8 premium tank, but is only up to you. So if you decided to buy this tank, you may need some information how to use it, how to play it properly, how to get the best results using this machine. So the easiest way to describe this tank is, if you are familiar with British heavy tanks, this is basically Caernarvon on steroids. Because as you could see, we have slightly boosted gun, which is already good enough on regular Caernarvon, and extremely boosted armor profile of this vehicle. That gives us a huge advantage, especially strong turret gives us huge advantage on the battlefield. So if you are familiar with playing British heavy tanks, that's going to be perfect buy for you. You're going to feel fantastic in this vehicle. Of course, a part of that, we have nice decent speed that allows you to quickly react on the situation on the battlefield, quickly change your position if you need to. You can even stand against some medium tanks chasing them, and then use your insane DPM just to deal fantastic amount of damage. Because like we just talked about, DPM of this tank is insane. So basically, how to play this tank? Play as a normal heavy, because you shouldn't be much worried about the armor, because armor is quite solid. Of course, you have to cover your lower part, so the hull down is very good option. Side scrap, I would not recommend side scrap of this vehicle, because this tank is not designed for that, and it's quite fast. So you play like a well armored medium tank. on the battlefield than a regular heavy. But of course, as you could see, there is no problems to play it as a heavy tank, because you can easily stand against the heavy guns and use your armor and the armor profile and a strong solid gun. So that's it. Thanks everyone for watching today. I hope you enjoy it, and if you like my videos and my tank reviews, you can consider to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for incoming videos. If you want to see other tank reviews, you can have a look on the channel. There is already a few premium tanks reviewed, and you may find something for yourself. Of course, like I said, if you like those videos, if you like my channel, you may consider to subscribe it and stay tuned for incoming ones. For today, that's it. One more question: if I recommend this buy, of course, 10,000 of gold. I mean, according to the parameters, yes, the tank is fantastic. I would recommend this tank, but for 10,000 of gold is only for your consideration, because I personally, I'm happy with the Caernarvon. I will not spend. I will probably wait, because I'm not in a rush. So I'll probably wait for a better deal on this tank, and then I will buy it. Yeah, that's for sure. Otherwise, 10,000 of gold for tier 8, still a bit too much for me. So that's it. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I really hope I'm gonna see you next time. Meanwhile, take care and goodbye.